Wow, show is really good. Guillermo del Toro has such a vision. Just kill me now! Like, Jesus Christ. Alright, and welcome to my series that I did one episode of on a YouTube movie. But today I'm living up to my promise that I made like 5 years ago, and that is my Trollhunters review. I legit said this was my next video for 5 videos in a row. And now there was like an expansion called 3Below about some of the characters that were in the one episode of Trollhunters. So yeah, I'm back to review since the last one I did 3 months ago. And now, welcome to my review room. Alright, so this review is going to be put up into 3 sections. Time slots are here. Can edit that in for the video. Also, before I go, I would just like to say, this is my way I get to school. Basically, I take this ender pearl, right? This ender pearl, and then we go. Right, I hit it 4 times, right, and then if I hit it once more, it'll transport me. You see? You see? Pretty epic, isn't it? Part 1, Trollhunters. Okay, so we're talking about Trollhunters, and since I already kind of made a script on this, so I'm going to steal some paragraphs from it. Turns out most of my script compares with the book, so you're going to get a lot of book info is all I'm saying. So get your worms ready, we're going into the books. That doesn't sound right. Trollhunters was a book released in 2015, written by Guillermo del Toro, director of Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth, Pacific Rim, etc. 2 years later, Guillermo gave Trollhunters its own Netflix series, and it won an Emmy. It's a good franchise and has the TV side of fandom, so Jim Lake Jr. lives with his mother in Arcadia, who's a doctor, like freaking unit, and Jim tries to look after her. His best friend is Tobias Tobes D, yeah, big man in it, and his crush is Claire Nunez. Nunez, that's a freaking interesting name. His arch nemesis is both Gunmar and Steve, the dreaded Steve. What I found quite a big difference is the characters in the book and the show. The main characters, Jim, Toby, Claire, Blinky and Ark, have little changes but still portray the same roles. But the book misses out on plots developed for the show. Characters like Eli, Claire's group of friends, Strickler and Senor Ull are missing from the book. Other than Senor Ull getting one mention for like a Spanish test. Freaking unit, lad. So he's a big part of the book. This can actually make the chapters about Jim's school life boring and bland, as there are only 4 characters we know: Jim, Toby, Claire, and Steve. And the TV show, of course, doesn't have Jim's dad, but rather Jim's mother. Some characters on the troll side, such as Vendel, Droll, Acerna, Dictatious, Angel, Morgana, Merlin, the swamp creatures, and the museum changeling, who I cannot remember the name of, are non-existent in the book. While the TV show lacks Jack and Jim's fathers, some characters are replacements. Take Jack and Droll, Blinky and Vendel. All 3 of them fill Jack's role in the book into the TV show. Joel is Jack's competitive attitude and his eventual friendship with Jim. Blinky remains as he is. Blinky remains as he is in the book, wise and a bookworm, but also adds Jack's mentoring skills. Vendel is the true harsh way Jack treats Jim in the first few chapters, even though Vendel's always a bit of like... And that's kind of like Scully from the X-Files. No one really likes him. And if you like Scully, then you're a loser. I really want to talk about a scene I call the Claire math scene, which is the scene that appears in both forms. In the book, it's used as a way to bring Jim and Claire together very heavily, and to introduce the idea of the classic theme found in Mario and Legend of Zelda. Big man saves princess from evil and gets reward. It's an idea most people in 2019 would disagree with. But the book has many scenes of Claire cutting Gunmar and, being the Mario of the story. In the TV show, it's kind of like an awkward Pokemon encounter. Used to bring Claire and Jim closer, but not in any form of love together. And the scene is used to get Claire intrigued by Jim, not romantically, but curiously, as her line is literally, and I quote, "Hey, Jim, like Junior." You don't get much clearer than that, do you, lads? Well, Book Claire says honestly the best line in history. This doesn't really have, anything to do with the math scene. It's just funny. The line is, and I quote, "I'd soon as kiss a chanty wrestler like you as I shag a goat in a raw outhouse." What's even a chanty wrestler? And our boy Steve, the Minecraft lad, is like a shagger what? I mean, I can so see me using some British slang and Phil being like, fish and what? Breaking news, Canada banned by mad British YouTuber. So then the actual scene. It's wrote like how I would write a summary of it. They do some maths for like 2 hours and Jim describes how he's triple awkward. Haha, triple awkward, more like triple yeah. And they go into deep conversation and we learn a lot from this. 1, we now know who Jim's mum is, how she left and how this impacted his dad even more than usual. Claire's actually Scottish, which is weird because Jim for the whole book thought she was from London. People who live in Arcadia are idiots if you can't. Look, if you don't know the difference between a British accent and a Scottish accent, like you can start working for Moors. I don't know. Can't think of a punishment worse than that. 3, Claire likes. Oh, like I hate. This is what half of the Trollhunters community is. You can call. Yeah, if you can call 20 videos on YouTube and some fan art a community. So Sonic fandom, I might have to call my buddy Rapid Motion.
Did someone say my name?
Yes, I did say Jimmy Neutron.
What do you want?
Can you read like 2 sentences, please?
Yeah, sure.
Troll Hunters.
Like Maverick Hunters. So basically, Claire and Jim do some things, 50 Shades of things, and then she dies down a fucking hole like, do the marriage. And then Jim is like, your nan, I'll get you. And Blinky's like, Jim, jump down the fucking hole.
Right, that's just 50% of my script. That's just 50% of my script. And all those lines are a couple of months old now, like back when I was in 6th grade, or year 7 for my British viewers. Okay, so that's Trollhunters basically. What do I think of it? Honestly, it's one of the best animated shows I've seen in a while. Like, there are some moments in other shows where I'm like, I should be crying, but I'm not. There's some bits where it's like, wow, the scene is cute, and it's like, Claire says, man's got plans, and then Jim says, like, man has no plans of you. So yeah, that's Trollhunters, freaking great review, I'll give it a 1 V-Buck out of 10. Now let's talk about 3Below. 3Below is Guillermo del Toro's extension to the Trollhunters universe, labelled the Tales of Arcadia, and is more relatable to the kids. Anyways, 3Below happens at the same time as Part 3, so the aliens, I don't like that word, crash land just before the Eternal Night, which is like the apocalypse in Trollhunters. Turns out Backpack Kid and Angelina Baralina are from a planet called Acaridium 5. What about Acaridium 911, lads? In it. Basically, typical Superman story. Their parents die and their planet is overthrown and they go to Earth. Also, Backpack Kid and Angelina are royals or king and queen in waiting. Anyways, they come to Earth with this big dude named Vex. And they choose some human forms because otherwise Eli, of all people, is going to expose them. 2019, not clickbait. What a freaking unit, lads. So then Vex is like, be gone, and they wander around Earth, and Darcy's dad is like, no, illegal, and sends them off to school. They encounter the dreaded Steve, who's a unit I'm very scared of. He has an iron sword. So at school they encounter our familiar friend Toby D. And he's like, what the frick, bro, you can't eat that. What the frick, bro, you can't eat that. And Ballerina's like, no, frick you, frick you, you're obese, fam. And then Big Boy Memes is like, what the frick, bro? She's like, Angelina. Most of the series is just them getting used to Earth and their lives on Acaridium 5 and tied to their new lives on Earth. So, you know, typical Superman story. There are 2 crossover episodes with 3Below and Trollhunters. One is called Deja Vu, which is not ever in Trollhunters, and it involves both Jim and friends and Krell and Aja revealing their world-threatening secrets. And they get arrested, even though Darcy's dad is a level 1 crook and all these lads are level 100 mafia crime bosses. The other one appears in Trollhunters, which is where Jim, trying to gather the items Merlin sent him, needs to catch some of that fresh lightning. And Backpack Kid, I'd be flossing. It's like, yo, I'm a big boy Winston, give me that fresh lightning. Then Angelina, who I'm now renaming Gamer Girl, hacks into the FBI and pulls out the X-Files out of her Steam local files and gets all the vaults. They get some of that Rolex lightning. More importantly, Toby lost his phone, his fifth phone. There are 2 shows in the Tales of Arcadia. 5 minus 2 equals 3. The number cursed by Valve. Valve makes Steam use competing with Epic Games, and thus the solve. Backpack Kid is Fortnite, and Fortnite is Backpack Kid. So that's 3Below. Is it good as Trollhunters or better? Possible. 3Below is still an early show, came out December last year, has so much room for improvement that making a conclusion now is redundant and pointless. So yeah, but for now, I'll be flossing.
I'm making a YouTube video and I wanted you to do some of the lines as a collab. No, f*** you. F*** you. And f*** you.
I like your nan.
That's going on YouTube.
Humour.
Just do the lines.
Humour.
All of it.
Yeah. No, just that one.
But basically, so basically, Claire and Jim do something, 50 Shades of Things, and then she dies down a hole like our boy Mario. It's kind of sad. Anyway, and Jim is like, yo, no, I'll get you. And Blinky is like, Jim, what the f*** is this script? So basically, Claire and Jim do some things, 50 Shades of Things, and then she dies down a hole like a Mario. And Jim is like, Nan, I'll get you. And Blinky is like, Jim, what the f*** is this script?